Don't try to puff your chest and say, yeah, I'm already an established builder and I just need more subs to increase my bandwidth. No one wants to hear that. People want to be part of something that's bigger, quality driven, especially if you're going for detail oriented contractors. What's up, guys? It's Coffee Break 21. I'm going to get right into it. First question is from a younger carpenter general contractor in Connecticut. It's hard to get other subcontractors who come highly recommended to answer phone calls or get them scheduled into a project. Any tips on getting good subs to work with you? Well, to speak specifically, it sounds like they came highly recommended. So if my painter were to recommend a plaster and I reach out to that plaster and they don't get back to me, I'm going to go back to my painter and say, hey, listen, man, you recommended this contractor. I reached out. I couldn't get back. You think you could poke him for me? Because ultimately, that's what is it's probably that I don't know who this person's calling me. I've never heard of this company. He's a young kid. I got plenty of work. I don't need to work with him. There's so many thoughts that go through that. And this communication in our industry, I think, lacks anyway. So it compounds pretty quickly. And what I mean by that is that, I feel like we're already so busy, even the guys that are doing a really good job at communicating, that we oftentimes forget to follow up. And maybe that plaster is a 1-man, 2-man, 3-man show where he's in the field all day and he's like, yeah, I'll get back to them soon. Or he doesn't get back to you because, he's just, I got the next 6 months booked out. I don't need any more work and not giving you that opportunity. So going back to your source of who might have recommended them, that would be the way I would go. I always let someone know, hey, yeah, I never was able to connect with them. Could you reach out to them and let them know, I'm really interested in working together. You have to have some persistence in trying to make that connection. And then when you do, really explain what your goal is, who you are and what you're trying to, build as a general contractor and a carpenter. It sounds like you want to work with really quality subs. So you need to show that what you're trying to produce, maybe you're not producing at the quality that you want to. Outline that. Talk to them about your dreams, your goals. Why did you reach out to them? Why do you want to work with this sub when you're already working with that sub? Walk them through that process. Walk them through what is in your mind and the reasons that you're making those decisions, and get them to be on the same page as you. Same thing. If you can show the work, have them visit one of your job sites. Maybe the job site's to the caliber that you want. What if it's not? If it's not, bring them to the job site. Listen, this is what we're doing right now. It really bugs me that I can't get my tile guy to do this. And I would love to work with you because, it's always a struggle. And I've seen the work that you do on Instagram or social media or, John down the street recommended. Walk them through that job and see if they can help see where you're falling short or your weaknesses are, but just be open and transparent about it. Don't try to puff your chest and say, yeah, I'm already an established builder and I just need more subs and I need to increase my bandwidth. No one wants to hear that. People want to be part of something that's bigger, a message that, is quality driven, especially if you're going for, if you're trying to build relationships with quality guys and, higher end, detail oriented contractors. They want to be part of guys that believe in that, because if you believe in it, you also understand the value, which means that you also understand the cost that comes with that value. When you're on the same page as these guys, and being honest with it, that's really how you're going to continue to establish that relationship. But as far as getting in contact with them the first time, let's go back to that. Maybe you were highly recommended because you read a Google review and you're trying to reach out to them. I'd be persistent. Call them, shoot them a text. Most of the time that number's going to a cell phone. So shoot them a text, say, hey, my name's Nick Schiffer. I own this company called NS Builders. I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. I think we'd be a great fit for each other in this industry. Keep it short, sweet. Give them enough to read and understand why you're reaching out, but also, maybe a quick, just one question. Don't give them a paragraph, because the moment they're going to read a paragraph, they're just going to kind of shove it off to the side. But introduce yourself. Hey, can we pop on the phone for 5 minutes? I'd love to introduce my company. I think we'd be a good fit. One question, they can look at that quickly, understand it, and most of the time they're probably going to write back. text message doesn't work, shoot them an email, call their office, go on their website. Do they have a form that you can fill out? There's so many different ways to connect. I would go, down the road of anything that you can in order to make that connection. And, I think the level of effort is going to depend on the level of desire to work with that person. We got a second question. How do you stay up to date with the latest materials and technologies? I find it overwhelming trying to research superior products without thinking this might fail over time. That's a damn good question. I don't know if I am always up to date on the latest materials and technologies, but I think the fact that I'm immersed in what we do, and I would say a lot of my team is the same way, where we're constantly exposed to this stuff. We're constantly talking to people that have used these things. I don't think there's ever been a situation where we've used something that no one else has. So when, we come across something that might be new for us, we're going to do our research. We're going to, see, hey, has anyone used this before? Talk to, hey, I'd even call that if it got to it, I'd call the company and say, has this been installed before? Do you know anyone I can talk to, about using this? Perfect example. We want to do this new installation detail on this passive inspired, I'm not going to say passive certified, passive inspired home. And I'm really concerned with the compression of the exterior insulation that we're going to be putting on the house. This was actually for another project that we ended up not doing, and I was worried that you were going to get some waviness. So I reached out to the manufacturer. They explained, there is the potential for waviness, but such and such builder actually did this and achieved really great results. He had this great method. You should reach out to him. That's exactly what I did. Called that builder, asked them the questions, brought up the concerns. Yeah, we had the same concerns. This is how we combated it. So anytime we're dealing with a new product or something like that, we're going to do our research and dig into it. And, I think but you also have to be willing to put that work in. We had that same exact project. It would have been easier to just go by the plan, just build a 2x6 wall, just put in spray foam insulation and been done. It's easier, it's standard, but that's not who we are, and that's not what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a better product with more thoughtful design. So yes, there is a ton of time in researching and talking to people and getting professional advice and making sure that we're making the right decisions. Anytime we're putting a system together ourselves with different products, we're going to do the same thing. Is this the best way? Are there points of failure? Does this look like it's going to last a long time, or is it going to be really fragile? We think about our baseboard detail that we've been doing a lot of with this reglet. It's like, yeah, we could use PVC, and it might hold up just fine, but we look at it together as a team as that something's going to bang off the corner of that, and PVC might be more brittle. So let's use a heavy gauge aluminum. And let's in epoxy that joint together so we're getting that solid connection. We're trying to think about this in the battle zone. I don't know where that came from, but that's how I'm going to explain it. How is this going to hold up once we're gone and we're not protecting it? How is it going to hold up when there's not a piece of cardboard folded around the corner of that wall and there's a kid dragging the vacuum down the hall? Like, we have to think about those things and really consider those things. And when we're doing something new, and same thing with new products, we looked at the bathtub we built for our project 142. A lot of people question that. We did a tremendous amount of research and looked at every opportunity. And while it doesn't meet warranty, we knew that the approach that we took was redundant and belt and suspenders and would not fail. And we were comfortable saying that, and that's why we proceeded with it. So it's just getting these collective minds together and really thinking through the process and looking at, all right, where could it fail and how do we address it? God forbid it does fail in that point. What's our backup? And, especially doing a lot of these modern details where less is more, you have to really be considerate of that. Third question, could you go into more detail on how you go about protecting finished material during construction? This is something that we constantly improve on. It is job by job, but it really starts with job site cleanliness and organization. You have to keep the job clean. The moment stuff is disarray and there's stuff everywhere, stuff gets trapped underneath things and just layers and layers. It just, when stuff piles up, it just creates a mess. And I think I've made this reference before. I know I've made this reference before, but it's like if the job site's a mess, then everyone's going to keep it a mess. But if it's constantly clean, then people are going to be more delicate and more apt to keep the job clean. If they walk into a room and it's spotless and they go in there to work, the chances of them leaving it a mess are less than if they walk in that room and it's a mess. If it's already a mess, then forget it. They're gonna make a mess and leave. But setting the precedence that the job is clean and organized is absolutely number one. Beyond that, we have to look at what the materials are. We've done a lot of projects where we've actually installed the wood floor before we've plastered the house. So, we know moisture is a huge concern with plaster. There's a ton of moisture in that process. So when we're doing that, we have to be really protective of the wood floor. But now we have to think about, okay, well, is the wood floor guy okay with us covering it up? If he is, with what? Okay, it has radiant, so maybe the floor has to be able to breathe. So we can't put poly down, so we're using Tyvek. And then we're taping the seams. And then we're rolling that up and taping it to the baseboard. But, okay, well, Tyvek prevents the moisture, but what about, the trades? All right, well, let's put ram board over it and then masonite on top of that. And then maybe another layer of ram board we have to think of every surface and how it's going to wear, all the way through. I think one of the biggest things that I could recommend is any of your corners, door jambs, outside corners of baseboard, outside corners of cabinetry, protect that all the way to the floor. Because once someone plugs something in and drags a cord around the corner and then, pulls that cord, it's going to dent the corner of that, especially if it's wood. Soft wood, maybe it's unpainted, or maybe it is painted with a latex paint. It's not very hard. Those bottom corners get destroyed, and outside pieces of baseboard, they get destroyed. So take a little piece of cardboard, fold it at a 90, and then tape it right back to the baseboard. Protect those corners. I would say that's your number one area that most jobs can improve on, is protecting down low at the floor, outside corners, because those are crisp, sharp corners that you want to endure. Same thing with stairs, the nosing on the stair, getting, the corner guards, and we often use the outside corners for like packing material, and then we wrap that staircase in cellophane or something to hold those corners on, so when you're walking up and down the stairs, you're not damaging it. Anything you can do to protect the finished material is going to work to your benefit, but you have to start with a clean job site, because you want what's left underneath that to be super clean, and then make sure what you are wrapping these things up with are completely wrapped up, completely sealed, so dirt and debris can't get underneath that protection and then just cause more damage. I hope you guys like these questions. I know I love doing this every single week. I know a ton of you guys had some comments last week about that little black dot over there. It's a whiteboard, guys. I had these custom-made glass whiteboards made for our office. You can see all the marker behind me. The guys over at Allstate Glass made them, painted the back of the glass white, and it's a cool, slick-looking whiteboard, better than the plastic ones in my opinion. So stop picking on us for this little black dot over here. Either way, if you guys have questions, you know where to comment below here. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you guys next week.